Hey, what's up? What's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And tonight I'm going to be continuing the after Tory trial coverage with some of these receipts, some of the exhibits, and talking to some of you guys about this a little bit further and trying to lay this out a little bit more clearly. Because when we were in court, the prosecution and the defense, they went back and forth, and one person laid out their arguments, the other side laid out their arguments, and it was battle of who the people wanted to believe. Now, I feel like, some of the theories did sound very plausible and were very engaging. However, I think that sometimes the facts are the facts. And I think that's what the jury basically based this off of. A lot of people took information from, tweets and certain things, but you did not take it directly from the actual evidence that people considered. And so that's why I want to lay things out for y'all. I want to thank all of you guys who have been blowing up my DM. Shout out to everybody who has reposted me. Shout out to Street TV again. Thank you so much for putting me up on game and helping me get the exclusives. You know what I'm saying? Love it, love it, love it. Appreciate it. I appreciate y'all all. I cannot respond to everybody because, child, I got people from middle school in my DM that I ain't seen in umpteen years writing me that I ain't talked to since I got out of school, child. So it's been a whole lot. It's been a whole lot, but we're going to get down to the facts and the evidence of this all. Now, this situation went down in July. Okay? It was after a night at Kylie's house that basically was a very, very, very drunken night. Megan Thee Stallion invited Tory Lanez over to Kylie's house. And once he got there, he wasn't really giving her the attention that she expected to get. And things kind of went awry. He told Megan and Kelsey to leave. He was going to stay there with Kylie. They left and then came back. Now, once they came back, according to Kelsey, she stayed in the car, but it was then said to her that Tory and Megan was arguing inside of the house and got put out by Kylie Jenner. Now, after they get put out by Kylie Jenner, this whole argument ensues in the car. Now, once they get in this vehicle, they're driving on, and a bombshell gets dropped that Tory Lanez have been going behind Kelsey's back, bumping uglies, as my mama would say, child. You know, the old school say, they say hunching is bumping uglies, child. He dropped the bombshell that he had been bumping uglies with Megan Thee Stallion behind Kelsey back. All heck broke loose. Megan started insulting him, saying that he was whack rapper. He was only relevant because of Jack Harlow. He popping off at her. She popping off at him. Kelsey joining in on it. And it just was a whole big old kit and caboodle that went way overboard and got way out of hand and should have never reached the level that it got. Okay? Now, once we get to a point of no return, gunshots then go off. Okay? The gunshots first were reported on Ring camera, and I will pull it up for you guys right now. Now, as you can see, this is the actual Ring footage from one of the surrounding neighbors. If you see the time that is recorded, it is 4:22 a.m. Okay? 4:22 a.m. These shots go off. Let's play it again. All right. So, like I said before, the shots were pretty consecutive. And if you've ever shot a gun, because I seen somebody got on live and was big mad because I said that there wasn't enough time for a struggle. If you've ever shot a gun, sometimes there's a slip of the trigger, and what that pause sounds like is I'm shooting, and then I have to grip it and shoot again. To me, there was not enough time of a struggle, because if that is the case, the pause would be way longer. Okay? It would be way longer. It would be struggle. Somebody gets the gun. Then once they get the gun, they would have to aim the gun at the target. Now, if you've ever shot a gun, which some people, they just be bumping their mouth, child, they really don't know what the, it just sounds good on the internet. Some of the rah-rah, it translates well and it looks cute on the internet. So if you've ever shot a gun, okay, you have to get a grip of it. You have to aim it, okay, and then you have to pull and shoot. The time that happened between the pow, 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 pause, pow, pow, was not long enough, in my opinion, to be this big struggle. Now I get the gun. Now I'm shooting. It wasn't long enough for that. I stand on that. That's how I feel, period. Okay? So let's pull this up and let's run you guys through the timeline of events that the people who were on the jury were able to follow. Okay? So as you see here, sorry, let me pause it. It was an echo. So let me get it correct. Let me turn my mic off, because when my mic is on and the gunshots go on, it's an echo. Okay, so as you see, that is recorded at 4:22 a.m. All right, those are when the shots rang out. Now, at 4:27 a.m., 5 minutes from the gunshot going off, Kelsey sends a text to Megan's team saying that Tory shot Meg. Okay? She sent it within 5 minutes, and that was something that the prosecution, in their closing, they really made people focus on. They were like, unless she is some social, some sociopath, psychotic mastermind who was already thinking about framing Tory, that's pretty quick, within 5 minutes of the gunshots going off, her sending a text message to to Megan's team, saying that he shot Meg. Now, let me pull up the receipts for that. Okay, and I'm gonna walk you guys through the receipts that they used in court that this was based off of. Okay, so as you see here, this is Kelsey, and she is giving this text at 4:27. The shots rang off at 4:22. At 4:27, Kelsey sends a text and says, "Help. Tory shot Meg. 911." Okay? After this situation, the body cam footage is released. Now, in the body cam footage, you have Kelsey on the ground. She gets pulled up off the ground, and she tells them like she doesn't want them to put they ish all up on her like that or whatever. Then after that, there's another body cam footage that is shown to have Megan walking past Kelsey, and Kelsey asking Megan Thee Stallion, was she okay? Hey, Megan, are you okay? Like, are you okay? Now, the defense, they got the officer on the stand, and they wanted them to say that Tory also admitted that, or it's also asked if she was okay, and she was okay. And when the prosecution's witnesses, the officers, they act like they had amnesia, okay? They had amnesia, and they act like, they didn't understand the defense's questions, or whatever, and they act like they didn't see Tory's demeanor. Now, I felt like that was jacked up, that, you know, they are supposed to be neutral witnesses and they should be just telling it like it is. It was clearly that they were biased. So that was one of the things that I paid attention to. However, we still have to go off of the facts that we can corroborate. The gunshot went off at 4:22. Kelsey sent out a text at 4:27. The police arrived on the scene. Now, once the police arrive on the scene, they go to the front passenger. Now, in the front passenger, Tory Lanez was sitting in the front passenger, okay, when they were leaving. When they got there, the officers arrived to the front. They reach in, they touch the gun, and they say it's hot to the touch. Okay? YouTube is weird about showing guns, so I'm not going to show that receipt, but I can upload it separately so that you guys can see it, okay? Because I do have all of the receipts. They get to the front passenger seat, okay? The gun is on the ground in the front passenger where Tory Lanez was sitting. And they touched the gun, and the gun was hot to touch, okay? Now, one of the arguments that the defense made was that this luggage that Kelsey had, you know, they insinuated that she could have had the gun. They said that the luggage that she had was no longer in the back seat and it was now in the front seat, okay? And that was the whole, well, whose gun was it? Who's this and that? But the prosecution wanted everybody to focus on who was sitting there, who's apologizing on the jail call, and who's not. You have Kelsey not apologizing for anything, but she's supposed to be the shooter, and Tory is so apologetic to it. In addition to the jail call that I played for y'all, then there was the text message that he sent to Megan Thee Stallion. So I will pull that up on the screen. Okay, so this is the text message that he sent to Megan. This is from Tory Lanez. It says, Meg, I know you probably never gonna talk to me again, but I genuinely want you to know from the bottom of my heart, and I was just too drunk. Nonetheless, it should have never happened, and I can't change what did. I just feel horrible because I genuinely just got too drunk. Okay? So he says, she probably never gonna talk to him again. I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart. I was just too drunk. You know, it should have never happened. I just was too drunk and I feel horrible. Okay? Then you also have the jail call. So I'm going to play the jail call again for you guys, and we're going to listen to it.
This is a free call from
Tory,
an inmate at LAPD jail. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
Exclusive.
Press 1 to accept the call. To deny this call, thank you for using Cellmate.
hello.
Hey.
Y'all got out safe and
Nick
everything.
at Night exclusive.
Huh?
Y'all got out and everything y'all good.
Megan's still in the hospital. I'm outside the hospital.
What hospital y'all at?
About what?
You said what?
I said Megan's in the hospital still. I'm outside the hospital waiting.
Nick at Night
What hospital you
exclusive.
I don't know. Let me see. Feeder, something like that. Feeder.
Bro.
Sure.
Regardless, I know she
Nick
probably
at
never
Night
ever gonna talk to me
exclusive.
ever again, but bruh, I just want you to know, bruh. Nigga, I was just so fucking drunk, nigga. I didn't even know what the fuck
Nick
was
at
going
Night
on, bro.
exclusive.
Deadass. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, bro. Like that ass, nigga. I'd never do some shit like that, bro.
Hold on, wait. Pause. Who is Monique, and who are you addressing? Are you addressing me, calling me Monique? Who are you talking to, Lovely T? Because number one, my name is not Monique, it's Neek. And I'm not sure what content you talking about. So let's pause, cut, hello. What content is yours, ma'am? Maybe that's not even really her. So let me not even address it, because I don't even know if that's really. Anyways, let me finish playing, because I don't even know if that's really her.
Just that the nigga so fucking drunk, nigga. I just didn't even understand what the fuck was going on, bro. Like, so whatever.
Yeah.
But
Nika, night exclusive.
regardless, that's not gonna make anything right, and that's not gonna make my actions right, bro. But I'm just deeply sorry, bro. I never even moved like that, bro. Like, never
Nika,
moved like
night
that
exclusive.
at all, bro. Like, for real, dog.
I know there's a lot that happens, but
A whole lot, bro. Like a whole lot, bro. I feel like crazy, bro. But in this state, like, what happened already, bro.
Nika,
I can't
night
take it back,
exclusive.
bro. I'm just telling y'all, I'm sorry, bro. Like, nigga was
Nika,
just too
night
drunk,
exclusive.
bro. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
When I got to the house, shorty, like, all top niggas, they gave me like 5 shots, like, off the door, like, you feel me? So I was out of there, like, wasn't even there with niggas, like, you feel me? We was taking shots past that time. I wasn't even there with niggas, like, bro. I don't even remember
Nika,
what we was
night
even arguing about,
exclusive.
bro. Like, you feel me? Like,
Yeah, no, I was already fucked up by the time you got there, so I don't know how much.
it's like, but tell me what
Nika, night exclusive.
What hospital she's in.
Let me play it without my tags. Everybody know who posted it first. So, yeah, I believe it probably is a troll, because I was like, wait, what? Who? First of all, I'm like, my name ain't even Monique, so where would that come from? So it probably is a Lovely T troll. I have no idea, because that totally caught me off guard. But anyways, and I'm like, I got this exclusively. So what? So I shouldn't even address this. So, my bad to her, because I should not even address that, because that was just retarded. And people got too much time on their hand to be making fake profiles of people. That is so weird. That is so weird. But anyways, everybody knows at this point where the audio came from. So I'm going to just play it without my tags. Okay? I'm going to just play it without my tags. Okay? And I'm going to just play it. Ciao. Hold on. I might still say my exclusive a couple of times, but it's going to be less.
This is a free call from
Sorry?
an inmate at LAPD jail. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. Press 1 to accept the call. To deny this.
Y'all said keep my tags on it? Okay. I was going, all right. I'm going to listen to the Night Owls. They said no. Keep my tags on it. Exclusive.
I'm just telling y'all, I'm sorry, bro. Like,
Nika, night drunk, exclusive.
bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I got to the house, shorty, like, all top niggas, they gave me like 5 shots, like, off the door, like, you feel me? So I was out of there, like, wasn't even there with niggas, like, you feel me? We was taking shots past that time. I wasn't even there with niggas, like, bro. I don't even remember
Nika,
what we was
night
even arguing about,
exclusive.
bro. Like, you feel me? Like,
Yeah, no, I was already fucked up by the time you got there, so I don't know how much.
it's like, but tell me what
Nika, night exclusive.
What hospital she's in.
I just told you, Cedar Medical.
Alright, you ain't got Quan's number, right? You ain't got my security number.
Quan, I do have his number.
Can you call this nigga Quan and tell this nigga, bruh, you get a chance, but just figure out what you gotta do to bail me out this shit.
Okay.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. I'm sorry again, bro. Like,
Nika, night
Well,
exclusive.
I think honestly, I think we're gonna try to because obviously, like, the longer you're in there, the more hot it's gonna get, because you know it's already on, like, there's no names released yet, but the report is already out, you know.
But like out is what? What you mean out?
It's on some app. You know, Megan's team is on top of this. So,
yeah, but like niggas can't don't niggas don't. There's no way that Megan's on like the thing.
No, what'd you say?
There's no way that Megan's like on the thing.
No. So far, none of that is there. But I mean,
yeah, I don't think it's gonna be one of those. If anything, the only nigga that's gonna get this backlash is me. It's not gonna be her.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
but
I'll let you know.
Alright, it is what it is. Regardless if I get out of here today or not, bro, I just want to let y'all know, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Like, I never did that shit if I wasn't that drunk, bro. Like, you feel me?
Yeah. You have 1 minute remaining for this call.
Get out of here,
Nick at Night exclusive.
I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Nick at Night exclusive.
Hello?
All right. So after that, the police arrive on the scene. All right. When the police arrive on the scene, they get the gun and they say that it's hot to the touch. I'm going to just make my watermark bigger over it so that it doesn't show the actual gun so that they don't demonetize my video. But let me pull that video up for you guys so that you guys can see when they arrived and when they went to the seat where Tory Lanez was sitting at, and they said that the gun was hot to touch. Let me pull that up.
Supervisor following possible shooting suspect, Hollywood and Point Tega.
Avoid coming. Hollywood and La Brea.
Where are your windows? Where are your windows?
Roll down all your windows.
Hollywood and Formosa. Hollywood respond to Hollywood only.
Turn the car off.
Safety 31, do you have a vehicle description and license plate?
Roger, just getting by a new Cadillac Escalade, license plate John Ocean Union 580.
All right, so this video footage, they basically get everybody out of the vehicle, right? Once they make everybody exit out of the vehicle, then they go to where Tory Lanez was in the vehicle and they discover the gun. So I'm going to fast forward to that part right now because we've seen a lot of this, but I don't want to show the gun part but y'all will hear it because of how YouTube be.
Had it gone to slide lock because it was empty?
Yeah, it looks like it. Is it warm?
Yeah.
As warm to touch?
Huh?
Detective Ryan is gone on.
Okay.
Hey, Walker.
It doesn't have a
Empty?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna just see what
Oh, yeah, definitely. We have got it.
That's a lot of blood.
What happened? We have the gun here, and then we have other units. They're searching the house where it happened. So that's all we have so far.
So nothing happened to the vehicle.
No,
As of right now,
we don't have any casings.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, from what you've been told. Okay.
Does it look like it stepped anywhere on here inside?
No,
not yet.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Woman.
There's some blood up here.
Yeah, no, there was a towel soaked in blood
Okay.
at the bottom of this seat, which is where she came out of.
Okay.
All right. And I had to basically cover up the blood. Sorry that I'm covering it. Maybe I will post it separately with my tag smaller so that y'all could see it. But YouTube is very, very fickle about showing guns, showing blood, or showing anything like that. So it wasn't for you to see anything, it was for you to hear. And it was for you to hear that once they got there, they went to Tory's seat. They went to his seat and they basically seen the gun was where he was sitting at. It was hot to touch, so it had just gotten fired. Okay, that was the evidence that the prosecution used, okay, against Tory Lanez because it was his seat. So it wasn't for you to see anything right now. I will post it separately, but like I said, YouTube is very fickle about showing guns, showing blood, and showing anything like that. So, child, on y'all accord, I'm not about to show it, but I will upload it separately, and I'll let y'all know where I upload it so that y'all can see for yourselves. Now, after that, there was also 911 calls from some of the residents that were nearby. Okay, so there was a 911 call from a neighbor by the name of Chris, and then there was a 911 call from Sean Kelly. So let me go to the 911 calls.
Sunday, July 12, 2020, 04:26 and 01 seconds.
642. There is a woman who sounds like she's being hurt. It's definitely a domestic disturbance of some kind, and I know there have been a lot of fireworks going off, but these really sounded like gunshots. And
all right,
I do
heard it here
actually
first.
know what gunshots sound like.
04:26 and
it's in Nichols Canyon. I'm at it is north of me, and I guarantee if your officers just drive into Nichols Canyon, they're gonna hear it. It's, no, do not come to my. Do not send cops to my address.
Okay, so I need an address or a cross street.
Well, it's seriously. I mean, come on, man.
Yes, absolutely.
2020.
All right,
okay,
Nika
well, as
Night
I said,
exclusive.
it's in Nichols Canyon. I can hear it. I don't know exactly what house it's coming from. Nichols Canyon and Courtney Avenue. It's north of that.
Okay, how many gunshots did you hear?
4:27.
There were probably, I'm going to say 5.
Okay, and then you heard a female screaming?
Yeah, immediately after that, as soon as that happened,
All right, Nika Night
there was
exclusive.
all kinds of shouting. The woman was definitely louder. There was at least one male also, and it continued for, like a minute and a half or so. And then I thought, well, I think she's being hurt. I need to call somebody.
Okay. Do you know if did you hear any cars driving away?
No.
Okay.
But it was really loud. It's like, I don't know if they were in the street, if it was homeless people in the street, or I don't know what.
2020, 04:28 and 01 seconds.
If there's anybody that was actually shot?
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay. Okay. Did you want to leave your name and phone number?
No, definitely not.
These people do not want their information out, period. They like, listen, don't come to my house. Don't come to my door. I ain't got nothing to do with nothing. I'm just telling y'all what happened. And that's the same thing that the other caller basically was saying as well. He was like, listen, my name is such and such. Don't come to my house. Don't come to my door. Here is another 911 caller.
Sunday, July 12, 2020, 04:23 and 30 seconds.
911 emergency, operator 394. 911, do you need police, fire department, paramedics?
Yeah, we just have gunshots next to my house.
What's the address there?
1804.
I was just going, license siren.
All right.
Don't hang up. Do you hear a male or a female voice screaming?
Female voice screaming. I think someone might be shot. I don't know.
Okay. Do you hear anyone asking for medical attention? Do you hear them asking for paramedics?
04:20
No, I just hear someone
and
screaming.
10
Okay.
seconds.
Stay on the line with me. Okay, don't hang up.
Okay.
Suspect is female, black, 30 years, 5'5", wearing a black sweater, blue jeans, 390, hanging on PR's back door with unknown object. Monitor comments for health and safety. It's code 2, incident 843, RD 1218.
4 gunshots heard, female heard screaming outside. Incident 845, RD 622. Stand by for additional. All right, so your name and telephone number?
My name is Chris.
Voices, do you hear anyone else saying anything if they need a paramedic or not?
I don't hear paramedic. I just hear, I don't know.
04:25 and 10
saying that
seconds.
they were shot?
Not really, no.
Okay.
David, you can show us back in from Franklin calling.
You don't mind?
Hi, Unit 615 Funny Code 3, Franklin calling at 1801 North People's Canyon.
I heard somebody say call the police.
All units, shooting just occurred. 1805 North, Nick by traditional.
No problem, sir. I appreciate it. But if you see anything like a car or anything like that, or you hear anything speeding away, just let me know, okay? But we have officers responding license siren.
622.
40 responding.
640, Roger.
It was a house across.
6030, I'll be responding.
10 seconds.
I think it's
You think it's coming from the house across from 1801 North Nicholson?
across, yeah,
Okay.
across the
Got it.
street from 1801.
1801 is your address?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sunday, July 12, 4:26 and
6849, Funny Code 3, Hollywood Station to 1805 North Nicholson.
Can you still hear the female, sir?
No, I don't hear anything anymore.
Not on Nichols towards Hollywood Boulevard, additional on 848.
4:20.
I don't have anybody down.
Get a nurse if
I really don't want to talk to the police so that they know that I called, to be honest.
Can they give you, I understand if you don't want to be identified, so they won't do that, but can they call you if they have any further questions?
They can call me,
Okay.
but just, yeah, don't
Absolutely.
come
Yeah, no,
or say my name or anything.
Of course. I will put that in the comments of the call, sir. No problem.
Child, you see that? All the neighbors is like, listen, don't say by name, don't cut about house. It didn't happen at my house. I'm just letting y'all know what's going on. But do not bring y'all tail over here asking nothing. Okay? And I seen a delusional Delulu in the comments while I was playing the audio talking about they heard the gunshot audio. Yeah, you heard the gunshot audio because I played the gunshot audio for you. Okay, that's how you heard the gunshot audio, Miss Mamas. Okay, and with the gunshot audio that I played for you, in my opinion, there was not enough of a pause to transfer the gun to somebody else for them to aim it and then shoot it at a target. There was a pause, but there was not a significant pause, okay, for somebody to have a struggle, get the gun, aim the gun, and then continue firing. That was like a very quick pause. There was not let me struggle, we struggling for the gun, I'm getting it from you, then I get the gun, then I aim the gun, and then I continue shooting. Now I understand that you guys have certain content creators that you like to follow, and whatever they say, y'all critical thinking skills turn off. Okay, and whatever they say, it turns on, and y'all regurgitate it like word vomit, and the brain stops working because y'all be fanned out. But yes, you heard a pause, but there was not a significant pause. Okay, now, and I understand, you know, some people are mad. And it is what it is. No, I was not there from day one. I came the day that I could come. Okay? And there was many media who was popping in and popping out and coming certain days. The day that I came, there was like a NPR. I talked to him. I'm like, "Oh, have you been covering this?" They hadn't been there. I talked to the lady at Billboard. She had not been there the whole time. There was several media who did not go every single day. Some people got shit that they got to do and they can't dedicate a full 2 weeks. I was able to dedicate 1 week. Okay, once my daughter got out of school. So once my daughter got out of school and I didn't have to get up, get my daughter dressed for school, then try to run down to a courthouse, then I went and I wanted to hear from my own ears. I didn't want to hear from anybody else. I wanted to be able to hear the audio and the evidence and whatever they had for myself if I could. Okay, and that's what I did. And when I went up there, I met a lot of amazing people, a lot of amazing creators that I met up there. Tino, who's backstage, I don't know, he's trying to fix his mic. I was teasing him the whole time, child. I'm like, you so biased, Tino. You so biased. Because he was Team Tory all the way, and whatever was said, he always swung it his way, just like these other bloggers be doing, child. And I picked on Tino the whole time. Let me bring Tino up. Let me see if he's ready. Tino, you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, where your video at?
I don't know. It got me all yellow and stuff. I don't know what's going on. Got me out here looking like Big Bird in the box. I don't understand.
Tino was in court and he was Team Tory the whole time. Anything that they posted that clearly was like, come on now. Tino was saying, nope, it's this. So let me you know, we picked on Tino back and forth, but he was a sweetie.
I was coming from just a logical standpoint on everything. What this whole trial was just basically, I feel like based on was just it was a
camera.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on. I'm new to this. Y'all be coming up with new streaming sites every 5 minutes. I swear. I don't even know what to do.
Okay, go ahead.
My apologies, but I just felt like this whole thing was just basically over betrayal and loyalty. This whole situation happened off of betrayal and loyalty. Disloyalty. And it was between Meg and Kelsey. I don't think Tory played a part in the whole shooting situation.
He was firing everywhere. Okay, so that's when he was on the stand and he was talking about Tory, and he said Tory was firing like this. He was saying he
didn't do it like this. Come on.
He did like this in the air, like this.
He was like this, like that. He didn't say he was pointing directly at people because
he was shooting everywhere.
It would have been people hitting the chest.
So he did like this.
No
he said Tory was shooting like this.
He did like this.
Tory was shooting. So if Tory was shooting like this, how
even in Kelsey in her
gun miss her head and the rest of her body, and it went and crawled up under her feet?
Because Kelsey, the one who shot her, she actually went and shot with the intent.
What was Tory doing? It was only 5 shots.
Tory was part. It was. I don't even think he did all 5 of those shots. Man, I think he was part of the last 2.
You listened to the gun
when he was trying to grab her. What'd you say? If you listen to the
Tory
gun,
did what?
I think Tory was trying to grab old girl who was shooting Kelsey. He was grabbing old girl who was shooting, and then that while she was still pulling the trigger, he probably had her arm like this, and it was still going off.
But the guy didn't say he had a girl's arm and the arm was going like
tussling.
He said, was the short, he said, hold on. He said, you saw a muzzle flash when the smaller guy got out. He said, yes, they were all fighting. He said, was the short guy saying anything? He said they were all shouting. Do you recall saying the chap got out and started shooting? He said he was very agitated. He was firing everywhere and he did like this. But according to Tino, he did like this, which Tino knows is a lie. Anyways, they said, how many shots? They said, how many shots? He said it was about 4 or 5 shots. After they did that, then they played the audio of the gunshots at that point. So let me play the audio of the gunshots like they did in court, child.
For sure.
After that, they played the audio, and Tino, he even say the audio not real, child. If we go listen to Tino.
The audio that you released yesterday don't sound like what was in court. The one in court was sped up. It was a lot faster. But you can play it. Yeah.
Child, Tino is something funny. Child.
I promise you, I'm not making up nothing. I really wish this whole thing was like televised so people could see what took place. And how.
All right, so in that audio, he had Kelsey's hand and he was doing her hand like this.
That's what I feel, yes. And the dude just couldn't tell what was going on.
So the shots that go pow, pow, pow.
That was Kelsey. Pow, pow, yeah.
Tory is grabbing Kelsey's hand like this.
Yes. He was tussling with her for the gun. The girl took it to a whole nother level. She was hurt beyond measures. Like it's obvious that she's the one who did it. She had the motive. They try. If you listen to both of their statements, they always try to allude out like they never had any argument or they never fought. The women, Megan and Kelsey, they always try to make like they never had any type of argument. The eyewitness said he witnessed these girls have an argument and they was throwing hands. Like, how are you gonna take away that key evidence? Y'all know if that evidence come out, that's the motive right there. For somebody to actually go grab a gun and pull it at the other girl. You know, that's what took place. Okay. That's what took place.
So after they played the shot, they said, you said the short guy shot 4 to 5 shots. Is that what you heard? He said, yes. After he shot the girl, then what happened? He said she was kicking the whole time. She fell in the middle of the road. She was bleeding, then started crawling and stumbling. He said, you thought you saw a female shoot inside. He said, yes. Can I just say, and this is when, after he heard the gun audio, he tried to correct himself and he was very shaken up. They said, you thought you saw the female shoot inside. Mind you, there's no gun that went off on the inside of the car. There's no casings. There's no shots fired, no bullet holes, nothing in the car to indicate that a shot was fired into the car. So they asked him, they said, you thought you saw a female shoot inside. He said, yes. But can I just say, while this was going on, I told my son to get on the floor.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was very shaken up at this point. He was like, listen, like, I just want y'all to know, like, at this point, like, yes, I did say I thought the female shot, but I had to get my son on the floor. Did he not say that?
Yeah, he said that. Yeah, he said that eventually. But I'm just saying, with this dude's statement, whichever lawyer was up talking to him, he kind of was flowing with whatever they were saying. He was just saying yes, yes, yes to whatever they saying. Okay. When he went off his initial story, he literally said the woman went to the vehicle, it came back with an object and pointed at the other woman, and that's when he saw fireworks. Tory was still in the vehicle at this time. Like, how can that be to that the fact that like he was the one who shot her? The person who went to get the gun
was going crazy. He was really agitated. That's what he said. And so
he was when you be mad as people you were with, go get a gun and like start shooting at another person, and like it's not that serious. When the situation isn't that serious, you'll be mad too. You're not gonna sit there and just be calm and be Tabitha Brown talking like that. You're gonna be upset.
What I will concede to say is that when he was talking to whichever party, he was kind of, teetering. Yeah. However, he
didn't want to be there.
Adamant both times that Tory was the shooter, though.
He was very adamant that the woman shot first and that Tory eventually got the gun, allegedly.
Was there enough time? And so this is when you have to apply your critical thinking skills, because again, people are just going off of transcripts. I seen him in person. You've seen him in person.
Yeah.
When he was in court, they kept trying to get him to focus on, oh, you seen a flash by the girl. He said, yes, but the shorter guy, because they kept saying the bigger guy or the shorter guy. He said the shorter guy was the one shooting everywhere. Even though when it was the defense term, he did keep saying, oh, I seen it by the girl first. But he also he also made it very clear that it was Tory who he seen shoot 4 to 5 times. So you have to use your critical thinking skills and compile the evidence. You listen to the gunshots. There's not enough time for that gun to be 2 shooters from that audio.
There is enough time for people to tussle over the gun, though. Like that pause was a reason. They was tussling.
There was not enough time. So you have to factor in, number one, he had his child. He was trying to get his child on the ground. You have to factor in, even though he said that the muzzle was by Kelsey, he was very adamant when he talked to the defense and when he talked to the prosecution that Tory was the shooter that shot 4 to 5 times. Did he not?
This dude, like I said, he was leading, like you said, even also, he was saying yes to whoever he was talking to. Yes to whoever he was talking to.
No. Let's talk about what he said to both. He did say that the flash went off by the girl. He thought it was the girl first. However, when they asked him about the 4 to 5 shots, he was very adamant with both of them that it was Tory that shot 4 to 5 shots.
That dude was flowing with whatever people were saying to him. I'm being honest. This dude was flowing. And then also this dude was like, they even like said this dude was acting like he was compromised. Have you been compromised? Tory defense team said, have you been compromised? Because they said he met upstairs with other people without their approval, without them being there to witness what was going on.
If he was saying everything that the defense wanted him to say before the prosecution even got to him, then why would they say he was compromised? But because before prosecution got up, he asked him, was he being truthful?
Now he was saying about the statement from like when he first did it, he said, were you being truthful in this statement from the last time they met? And they went back to the paper, like right here on this paper, you said this is what took place. And then he said, why is your story changing now?
So I wanted to read it to y'all just so that I could explain it to y'all. When I heard the testimony, number one, I felt like the defense is very intimidating.
Yeah, he needed somebody else to sit next to him in that seat because that big dude that wasn't saying nothing the whole time, I was like, this dude looked like he just mean mugging the jury the whole time. You look like
we have to acknowledge, number one, the defense was very intimidating. Can we agree on that?
I mean,
can we agree?
Intimidating. I think the big dude that wasn't saying anything was intimidating. I said the big dude that wasn't saying anything was intimidating. The other dude who was talking, he wasn't that intimidating. The big dude that was sitting next to Tory up there, the other his co-counsel was kind of intimidating. Like he just looked like somebody that like saying work with the mob or something. The Armenian mob.
Okay, so we're gonna first acknowledge that when the defense went up, he was very aggressive with him. And even yet and still, after he got him to say the muzzle flash went off by the girl, he was then very adamant by saying Tory was very agitated. He was the shooter that shot 4 to 5 times. And then he repeated it. And then once the prosecution got to him, then you didn't hear him say that the flash went off by the girl. It was all Tory. I will agree to that. However, listening to the gun audio, there was not enough time for them to pass the gun.
It wasn't like he said, it wasn't just like, hey, you get a turn, you get a turn. He said like there was a tussle for it. There was a tussle.
Let me play the audio again. Again.
If you feel like Kelsey didn't do it, why did her and Meg stop being friends?
There was no time for a tussle. So you have to use your common sense and listen to what a man who's looking at a situation in the dark, you have to take what he say. You have to consider, number one, is dark. Number two, he's looking from his balcony. Number three, even yet and still, he's very adamant that Tory Lanez was the most agitated one. He said he was the most loud one. He said he was shooting everywhere. And he said
after he got out the vehicle, of course, a person's going to be, like I said, going to be upset that someone escalated a freaking fight to a gun fight. Like it was, she pulled out a gun.
And he took Kelsey, as Kelsey was shooting, So in those pow, 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 that's him taking the gun from Kelsey, and she's
tussling with her. Probably. That's what I feel like he was tussling with her.
And he's grabbing Kelsey's hand, and her hand is going like this in those shots. So let me try to motion that while I play the gunshot.
You silly.
Let me try to motion somebody grabbing the gun while those shots are going off.
Come on now. We all done seen.
We
all done seen movies in a situation where people was fighting over a gun and the shit was still going off. The shit was still going off, man. Come on now.
I'm trying to make it make sense.
I just don't. If Tori is the one who shot her, why did Meg stop being friends with Kelsey that night? What was that whole situation? What was that whole isolation from her then?
I don't know what.
I'm just saying, it's like you don't lose your best friend of 7-8 years over
I feel like Megan is a selfish girl. Like she got shot at, but I feel like in the moment of her disregarding Chelsea, I feel like she was being a selfish girl and she was just thinking about herself. I got hurt, so I'm just gonna protect myself.
That don't make if that's what makes sense to you. If that's what makes sense to you. The girl wasn't even allowed to go up in the hospital.
It was COVID. It was 2020 in COVID, during COVID.
The other lady that went there went into the hospital. The one she rode with.
And she was sitting outside of the room.
She was sitting outside in the car. That's what if you can hear the car door closing and stuff when she got on the phone call with Tori. She said she was sitting outside. She wasn't able to go inside. They didn't allow her to go in.
Okay.
Yeah. This man. I think Kelsey shot Meg. That's just my point on it. I don't see where Tori had a motive to. If anything were to like escalate between Tori and the girls, his security was there to stop that, to just de-escalate that. The women were the ones that didn't have no security there to stop it. What's up, Street TV? What's good, brother?
Okay, so we have somebody else who was in court, child, because I've been arguing. I don't know how long you've been arguing back and forth with Tino about Sean Kelly's testimony. But he said that Sean Kelly said that Kelsey had an object in her hand and aimed it and was shooting Megan.
Pointed at the other woman, and he saw what he thought was fireworks. That's the initial thing he said in the story.
I thought he said he saw the muzzle flash near the woman or by the woman.
Yes. But Tino said that he had the object. The girl had the object, she pointed it, and she was shooting at the other girl.
There was
fireworks.
Yeah, he did say something about shooting at the other girl into the car, and then the prosecution said, "Well, we know that's not possible because there's no bullet holes in the car."
He did not say into the car until later on. His first story he said was the women were fighting, and then eventually the gentleman who was a driver went around to the side to violently break it up. And once he was able to finally get them disattached from each other, one of the women went to the vehicle and came back with an object and pointed it at the other woman, and that's when he saw fireworks. That's what he thought was fireworks. That's initially what he said.
I think dude said a lot of things that we can't make sense of it, and that was his initial
story. That was his initial story. Then he started changing it as the crossing started to happen, and then they started making him go in more detail. He started changing things and leading with whatever they were saying to him. He was saying yes to whatever these people were saying to him, like whatever they were saying to him. But his initial story was that he saw the woman go to the vehicle, come back with an object, and point the object at the other woman. And he saw what he thought was fireworks.
Well, you know what I want to see the questions that the defense asked Mr. Kelly back in January. I don't know if that was part of the exhibit. Do you know if that was part of the exhibit, Sneak? The interview that they did with him in January?
No, that was not a part of the exhibit.
Because I got a feeling that they didn't ask him a lot of questions. They just asked him a few.
He only had 1, 2, 3, 4 things that was admitted as evidence. It was the outside picture of the neighborhood. It was Megan's post that she showed that she had got shot, and the nurse was taking whatever out of her foot. it was the picture of Sean Kelly's house where he drew the square and said that's where they parked at. And then it was Megan Thee Stallion's live. So that was all the evidence that he had on his part in the evidence.
Yeah, I don't think they asked him a lot of questions when they initially interviewed him, and I think the prosecution just started asking him more questions that he was never asked before.
I feel like they was asking the same question. They literally was asking the same questions. And he was just, the way that he was doing it was just in a different manner, but they was literally the same questions.
Well, do you accept or do you reject Sean Kelly's testimony?
I felt like if they want to go to like the statements that was used from September or whatever the 22nd that Kelsey used, they should go to the statements that he said in his original meeting with the lawyers. He said that he saw the woman with the gun first and shooting. That's what he saw.
But unfortunately, those previous statements aren't evidence. You can't use those previous statements because no one's under oath, so they're not really valid in court.
But they used the Kelsey thing as evidence.
They had to, because that's the defense's fault. The defense actually painted a picture that she must have been under duress or she was pressured or coerced. So the prosecution argued to the judge, hey, even though this is not admissible, they just opened the door to make it admissible. And that's why we heard we were never supposed to hear that whole statement.
But she was up there saying that she was pressured to do it. She was being pressured to do it because she was subpoenaed. And also she said that people were trying to say that she was the one who shot Megan. And she said she just wanted to like try to go clear her name. That's what she said. But when she got her immunity on that court stand, she said that most of everything she said in that thing was not true. And she said she wasn't trying to incriminate herself. When she got the immunity, she got on that stand and said,
you just changed the topic on me.
How?
We were talking about evidence being admissible.
Yeah.
Okay. And then now you're talking, you just went in a whole other direction.
I feel you, but I'm just saying, like, I'm just letting you know where I'm going with that whole part right there.
But what I'm saying is what Sean Kelly said to the defense attorneys, that's not evidence. And what Kelsey said to the DAs, that's not evidence. But the reason why they played the audio is because the defense was painting a picture that she did that original statement under duress or she was pressured or she was coerced. So that's why the judge allowed the statement to be played. Originally, we were never supposed to hear that audio.
Yeah, we weren't supposed to hear it.
Because the prosecution was expecting Kelsey to stay consistent with that previous statement. So it didn't work that way for the prosecution. So they had an argument. They actually had an argument with the judge to say, hey, can we want to play that audio now? And the judge allowed it.
They played the audio, yeah.
Yeah.
It was off of the fact that she said that she was pressured to do that meeting with them. That's why.
Well, yeah, when you say that in front of a jury, that maybe she was coerced to make that statement. You also got to think like the prosecutor too. So the prosecutor's concerned that now they're saying that it was coerced. We got 12 people here that are hearing this. Oh, hell nah. Mr. Judge, we got to play this because we never coerced her. There was no pressure for her to make this statement.
Do you think that she sounded, Tino, did she sound like she was pressured in the September audio?
She sounded like she was trying to clear her name. Like she didn't want to have nothing that was incriminating her. She was literally trying to clear her name.
Hey man, I need a homeboy like you when I go down, man, because you a ride or die, man.
So if she was being truthful, why would she get immunity and go up there and say that she wasn't being truthful in that statement? She wasn't being true. That's one of the first things she said. Like she said that she proved that she got immunity. She said she wasn't being 100% truthful in that recording. So why?
Well, here's the thing. I watched over 100 trials. What Kelsey did the other day happens all the time. Where a bro makes a statement to the police. Yeah, he shot. Yeah, he had the gun. And maybe they don't realize they're being recorded. And then it's time for trial. And they bring the guy on the stand. He's like, nah, I don't remember saying that. Now, would you need us to refresh your memory? We got it right here. Okay. Well, it sounds like I said it, but I don't remember saying it. So for me, from my perspective, what I saw Kelsey do, I've seen that done dozens and dozens and dozens of times, so it doesn't really surprise me.
I feel it.
But he wants to know, why did she get immunity?
She got immunity because they wanted to force her to testify. That's another thing. A lot of times people think immunity means, oh, this person must have did something illegal or something wrong that they want to protect themselves from. It also means that once you plead the fifth, you can't plead the fifth anymore. It strips you of your Fifth Amendment right after you're given immunity. So I don't know. I could tell you when she pled the fifth, I was thinking, oh shoot, maybe she was the shooter. At that point. But then as other evidence came in, then I started saying, okay, this could either go Tory or Kelsey.
What was the other evidence that you felt like that could have led to Tory being it?
Well, I think the apology text, the apology call.
Well, the apology text. What was the apology text? They never brought that in.
Yeah, they did.
I showed it.
The apology text. Here's three things that I think hurt Tory. The apology text that he sent to Megan. Right? The apology text he sent to Megan. I think that hurt. The apology phone call that everybody's listening to right now. I think that hurt. And then I think Kelsey's text message to Justin that Tory just shot Meg. I think those three things right there really hurt Tory.
I just feel like with this whole situation, that apology, that text to Justin was a cover-up. She was trying to take the heat off of her to clear her name in that situation. She was the last person out the vehicle. This was alleged Tory vehicle. So you don't think if he had a gun, you don't think he would try to stash where it was sitting right there on the floor, where he was sitting at. She was the last person out the vehicle. Like, how is that? I don't know. I just feel like that's something that she just threw up there and stashed it. Because he would have put it away somewhere.
I'm gonna badger Street TV for a
second.
second.
All right, for sure.
And then we gonna
thank you for the love, me. Good to see you.
I love a good tussle. You are a good sport.
Yeah.
Because you'll be taking offense because I'd be like, child, you so biased, Tino.
But you came in there biased on Megan's side too, so you can't say I was.
I don't even like Megan, so that's a lie. I did not come in there biased on Megan's side. I came in there.
I think Tory did it from the jump.
Listen, no, when I came in there, I didn't know which way. I'm like, I'm about to hear for myself and see what it is. And once I heard it and I seen Sean Kelly testify, I'm like, yeah, he did say the muzzle went off by the girl. But when you listen to his thing in totality, you could tell, number one, he was confused at some of the stuff. Number two, he was very adamant that Tory was the shooter, regardless of who he was talking to. Even though he said the muzzle flash went off by the girl, he was very adamant that Tory was the loudest one. He was the most agitated one, and he was the most crunkiest, violent one out of all of them.
He said everybody was being wild. He said Tory was definitely the loudest one, but at that point, a person took the matters to having a gun out. Of course, you're gonna get loud and mad about that situation. Somebody having a gun out, you're not gonna, like I said, you're not gonna sit there and just talk peacefully. You're gonna get mad about that. Why do you bring a gun out? What the fuck going on? What's going on?
Okay.
That's just how I see it, man.
Somebody said Kelsey never mentioned the fight. That's a fact. There are lies in this.
She said they may have bumped each other. We may have bumped. That's it. She said we may have bumped.
Yeah, Kelsey definitely told lies, and I'm not gonna sit here and say she ain't lied about some stuff. However, just looking at the evidence of the shots rang out at 4:22. Kelsey, she then texted Tory shot Meg 5 minutes later. She didn't wait till she, had this big old kit and caboodle thing immediately in the heat of it happening. Because mind you, the shots rang out. Megan was in the middle of the street. She crawled to the other side of the street. She had to come get from one side of the street to the other side of the street. Get in the car. Once they're in the car, help. Tory shot Meg. They're in the car like, this motherfucker done shot her. Like, that sound like some scare shit. Like, we up in the car with this motherfucker, but he just shot Meg. 5 minutes from the guns going off. Then she is supposed to be the shooter. Why is she not saying, dang, I took it too far? Why on her end is she not saying that she took anything too far, why is he the only one apologizing for being super drunk and what he did? Why he in the call never said he apologized for what he said? He apologized for his actions on what he did.
It was just being apologetic for starting off the situation, the whole ordeal. It all started off because he said that he had been messing around with Meg behind Kelsey back, and Kelsey took offense to that. Like, that's how it all started. I'm just saying this. That's how it started, but I just feel like this. How come if Tori was a so violent person with a gun, why did she still answer his phone call in jail? Why did she still like go meet up with him like the next day to get her stuff? If this dude was supposed to be this violent person, it don't make any sense to me.
Because people get into stuff all the time. Stuff goes too far, and they talk about it like, damn.
But she was in court making it sound like she was scared of him and all the above. It's like, if you're scared of this man, like, why would you still go meet up with this dude? Why would you still contact this dude?
After we know that she was shot?
She made it seem like she didn't even know it was him calling. But again, like I said earlier, everybody knows.
Because Megan also got in a car with somebody who just shot her. So it's like, I feel like it was more so like, okay, we got to put our egos aside from what just happened and think about the bigger picture. I feel like Megan was her friend at the end of the day, and she was thinking about the bigger picture. Like, the bigger picture is like, we do need to, like, try not to let this spot get blown up. But Tori was clearly apologizing.
He was apologizing for making the whole ordeal come out the way it did.
Okay.
That was it.
All right.
He had no motive to get a gun. That's all I'm saying. He has security there.
All right. I'm going to bring you back up. All right. So shout out to Alex Alonso from Street TV. Again, I want to thank you again so much for telling me what to do and being so solid and helping with the exclusives. I'm like, you want to drop it? You could go ahead. So I want to thank you because I appreciate that. And, I thanked you yesterday. I thanked you after that. And I just want to thank you again. I appreciate that so much.
No problem. No problem. I got no problem sharing information, sharing the content. I think that when people collaborate and come together, everybody wins. There's no need to hoard the information.
Apparently, Rock Nation sent it to us.
Yeah, but I do got an issue with people stealing it and then trying to re-edit it and then trying to brand it as their own. So,
right, yeah.
But people who are doing righteous reactions, that's all good.
Mm-hmm. So now that all the receipts are out, the verdict is in, and now that you've been able to look over some of the receipts of the exhibits and look at everything up close, what is your thoughts now over at, are you still, because I think you still were kind of are you still how you feel?
Well, I'm still a little bit on the fence, and I could admit I'm leaning towards Tori, because I think there were so many holes that were punctured in this case that regardless if you think he did it or not, I don't think it reached the threshold of beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right.
I feel like he probably shot the gun. I certainly feel like he did, but I certainly feel like there's a possibility that he didn't shoot the gun. And because I have a little bit of that feeling that he didn't, I would give him the benefit of the doubt as a juror.
Right. And so that's kind of what I was saying when I was in the whole melee after the court. I'm like, I feel like he shot her, but do I feel like they had enough evidence to, without a shadow of a doubt, nail him? I didn't think so. However, I knew for a fact I felt like he shot her, though.
I also think that a majority female jury played a role in this, because when I talk to people inside the court, outside the court, in the cafeteria, it seems like this case is divided along gender lines. Most women are quick to say Tori did it, and most men are quick to say he didn't. So you can't ignore the majority female jury that both the defense and prosecution picked for this case.
Mm-hmm.